Welcome to my YouTube channel. Today, we'll be treating BODMAS, operations of BODMAS. The reason why we are making this video is because in one of our videos, how to solve fraction with BODMAS, we're able to explain briefly the operation of BODMAS. We solve a question and we put up another question for people to solve. A lot of questions has been raised. Some people have solved the question and different questions from different quarters, but in this video we are going to explain in detail the operation of BODMAS. And as you can see on the screen, you can check our previous video on this YouTube channel on how to solve fraction with BODMAS. We're able to solve one question. We put up this second question that you can see on the screen and the answer for people to solve. So in this video, we are going to explain in detail the operations of BODMAS, and we are going to use this question to explain in details as well. As you can see, this is exactly the way we put the question and the answer in that video. You can go back to check it, how to solve fraction with BODMAS. So BODMAS is an acronym. A lot of people have been using different acronyms to solve this operation. It's just an acronym. This B stands for brackets, O off, D division, M multiplication, A addition, and S subtraction. So that is BODMAS. It simply means when you have an operation that has virtually all of these sign that you are having here. So this is the order. You first of all solve those rows in brackets. If you have anyone with off, you solve. Anyone with division, multiplication, addition, and subtraction, that's the order. So let's see. If you have an operation, this is an example. This is the answer. If you check that video, you are going to see it. We put it this way, but in this class, we are going to solve it, and so that we can see how we arrive at this answer. What you are expected to do is to deal with those operations inside a bracket first. You deal with them first. So let's take some example before we solve this particular question. Say we have this now. Let's take this as an example. Awesome. This is an example now. If we are having anything of this nature, all you need to do first is to solve what is in the bracket, irrespective of the operational sign that is there, either addition, subtraction, multiplication. You solve those ones in the bracket first. That is B, that's the bracket. Now, the next one is off, from BODMAS, off. So say, for example, in this operation, you have something of this nature. 2/5 of 1/4. In BODMAS, generally, off is still the same thing as multiplication. It's still the same thing as times. So all you need to do is to do what? To change what you have here to, okay, awesome. So we have off here. In mathematics, whenever you see off, it is still the same thing as multiplication. It's the same thing as what? Multiplication. So you need to take note of this. It is very key, very important. So let's change our off to what? To multiplication. Awesome. That's the meaning. When you see off, it means multiplication. So you can do it in two ways. I'm just trying to explain the basics of BODMAS one after the other. Whenever you see a question or a problem, deal with those in bracket first. The next one is off. you will always change your off to multiplication. It's either you say 2 times 1, it will give you 2, over 5 times 4, it will give you 20. Or there's a way you can cut it. 2 will go here 1, 2 will go here 2. So it depends on the way you want it. So that is how to deal with operation of off. So it is very key. So let's see what we can do to this. Let's take this as a template. So it depends on the way you want it. You can say 2 times 1 here will give you 2. That's the numerator. And you can say 5 times 4 here will give you 20. That's the denominator. So it is still the same thing as 1 over 10. This will still give you 2 here 1, 2 here will give you 10. Depends on what you want. So that is off for you. It's just for you to change the off to sign. What's the next one? We have BO. The next one is division, divide. So let's take this as an example as well. What we are doing here is just to explain first before we solve the question that we have up there. So awesome. So we can say, for example, if you have anything of this nature, divide. It is very key. We have to take note of something here. Whenever you have any operation that has divide, all you need to do is to change it to times. Is to change it, this divide to what? To times. Let's change it and see. But you need to take note of something. So just listen. Now, you have 2 over 5 divided by 1 over 4. You change this divide to multiplication, to times. But why doing that? The operation you have on your right-hand side, you will change it such that the numerator will go down to the denominator and the denominator will go up to be the numerator. What do I mean? So immediately you change this divide to times, your 4 will go up and your 1 will come down. So your 4 will go up while your 1 will come down. It is very key. Whenever you change your divide, what you have on the right hand side, you have to swap it. The numerator will go to the denominator and the denominator will go to the numerator. By so doing, you can now continue your operation like you have up here. So you can now see, I'm just trying to make this explanation so that you can understand how BODMAS works. So you can now say 2 times 4 will give you 8 here. And 5 times 1 will give you 5 here. So this is an improper fraction. You can leave your answer like this, or you can leave it in mixed fraction. It depends on what you want. Okay. So let's just say we now have, let's get this as a template. Okay. If you want to change this to a mixed fraction, just say how many times will 5 go in 8? That is 1. It will remain 3. So 3 over 5 over 5. So this is just an example of how you operate with divide in BODMAS. So you can also convert this to an improper fraction depending on what you want. 5 times 1 will give you 5, plus 3 will give you 8. That's 8 over 5. So we've been able to explain that bracket will come first, off, you change it to times and continue your operation. D is division, divide, you change it to times and swap what you have on the right hand side. Don't forget, you will understand better as we solve the question that we have up there. The next one is multiplication. After bracket of division, the next one is multiplication. Multiplication is just as simple as what we have here. Whenever you have a question, for example, like what we have here for multiplication, okay, let's just copy what we have here for multiplication. So before we do that, we can say this is for, we've been able to explain for brackets, this is for off. We can say this is for off. We can say this is for division. This is for division. This is for division. So we can now say for multiplication. This is for multiplication. Awesome. So this is for multiplication. It's still the same thing. Whenever you have an operation multiplying, all you just need to do is to multiply the numerator and multiply the denominator and divide all through. Or depends on the way you want it, you can cut it as well. It's a simple operation. So that is for brackets of division multiplication. The next one is addition. Now, there's a little twist to that of addition. Whenever you are adding, let's take this as an example. For addition, so for addition, so let's change this operation to addition. Awesome. So there's a little twist to that of addition. Whenever you are adding for addition and it's a fraction, you have to look for the LCM. That is the lowest common multiple, LCM. So let's just quickly do this. It is very key that we understand the principle behind it. So for addition, let's just get this as a template. Okay, what we're going to do is to look for the LCM. Whenever you are dealing with addition, unlike multiplication and division, but for addition, you are going to do what? Look for the LCM. These are just examples. At the end of this explanation, we are going to solve the question that we have up there. So you look for the LCM. LCM of 5 and 4 will give us what? 20. So how many times will 5 go in 20? That's 4 times. 4 times 2 will give us 8. Because we are dealing with addition, so we add. How many times will 4 go in 20? That's 5 times. 5 times 1 year will give us 5. So this is just an example. I'm just trying to explain that we can understand the basic principle behind BODMAS. So all you just need to do is to say 8 plus 5 will give you 13. Give it 13 all over 20. So E is a proper fraction and they cannot cut, so you can just leave the answer like this. Whenever you are adding, you need to be very careful. You will look for LCM. And lastly, for subtraction, which is the last one in the acronym of BODMAS, let's just get this as a template. So the last one is subtraction. So that is how it works. For subtraction, that means the operational sign that will be here will be minus. So also we apply the same method and principle. Awesome. So you look for the LCM as well. LCM of 5 and 4 is 20. How many times will 5 go in 20? That's 4 times. 4 times 2 up here will give you 8. Awesome. Minus, how many times will 4 go in 20? 5 times. 5 times 1 will give us 5. So we just need to do is to say 8 minus 5. Let's get this as a template. So 8 minus 5 here will give us what? 3 over 20. So this is a proper fraction as well, and they cannot cut to leave it that way. So very quickly, you can always go back and see. Always deal with your bracket first. The next one is off. You change your off to times and continue your operation. The next one is division. You change it to times as well. But while changing, you swap the numerator and the denominator. The next one is multiplication. The operation remains the same. Then addition, you will look for LCM. Subtraction, you will look for LCM. It is very key. So let's solve this question that we place in one of our videos. You can always check it, how to solve fraction with BODMAS. We place this question there. At the same time, we place this answer for people to try it out and so that they can get this answer. So a lot of questions have been raised. So that's one of the major reasons why we decide to put up this video so that we can solve this question, that our people can know how we arrive at this answer. So let's simplify. So with this, we are going to apply our BODMAS. It's an acronym, like we said earlier. So let's quickly do that. Having explained one or two reasons on how we apply the principle of BODMAS, so let's quickly solve this question. Now, we are going to apply the principle that we just explained. We have to simplify 1 over 3 minus open bracket 2 over 5 plus 1 over 4 close bracket divided by open bracket 3 over 8 multiplied by 1 over 3. We close the bracket. First thing first, don't forget, we are going to solve the operation that we have in the bracket first. Irrespective of the sign in there, what you need to do first is to solve the operation inside the bracket. Awesome. So with this, here we go. So we now say, since we have this operation in the bracket, we have addition here, we have multiplication here. So don't forget, we say whenever we're having addition or subtraction, all we are going to do is to look for the LCM. Don't forget, so we look for the LCM of 5 and 4. We operate using the bracket first. Look for the LCM of 5 and 4. Okay, LCM of 5 and 4 is 20. So we change this to 20. Awesome. So don't forget, we are operating those ones in the bracket first. That is the first from the acronym of BODMAS. So how many times will 5 go in 20? 4 times. 4 times 2 will give us 8. The sign we are operating is with plus. How many times will 4 go in 20? 5 times. 5 times 1 will give us 5. So we've been able to solve what we have here, divided by, now this is another bracket. like we explained earlier, all you just need to is to multiply the numerator together and the denominator together, or if they can cut out, you can cut it out. So to make our job easier, so we can just make do with this, such that since this can cut, 3 can cut, sorry, not this, already working down there. So 3 can cut here and 3 can cut here, so that we'll be left with what? 1/8 in this bracket that we have here. Awesome. So let's move to our next stage. Let's copy this as a template. Awesome. So 3 has gone up there, 3 has gone down, so we are left with 1/8 here. Great. So now here we say 8. Don't forget, we are still dealing with those operations inside the bracket. So 8 plus 5 here will give us what? 13. We now have 13/20. Awesome. So now that means we'll be able to operate those in the bracket. So with this, we can now forge ahead. Great. So we've been able to operate those in the bracket. So that means here we have 13/20. Let's copy this template. So here we now have 13/20. Great. And here we have 1/8. 1/8. Awesome. So that's what we have in 1/3 minus 13/20 divided by 1/8. So we've been able to deal with brackets. The next one from the acronym of BODMAS is off. There is no off in this question. The next one is division. Division. So we have division here. Don't forget, we explained earlier on in this video that whenever we have division, we change it to multiplication and swap the numerator and the denominator on the right hand side. Now, like I said earlier on, so this divide will change it to what? To times. We change it to what? Times. Such that we'll swap the numerator and the denominator. So we now have 8/1. Awesome. So we've been able to swap what we have here. That is how to operate division, like we explained earlier. Now, the next thing is, after division, we have multiplication that we have here already. So we operate what we have here. So let's see what we can do. Two ways. You can multiply 13 times 8 for a numerator, 20 times 1 for denominator, or if there is a way you can cut out, you can also cut it. So you will still get the same answer. So let's see if we can cut out and see what we arrive at. So like here we have 1/3 minus 13/20 divided by 1/8. So after changing the division to multiplication, this 8 come up and 1 down. So let's see what we can cut. So we operate this multiplication first. Don't forget, that's the next thing. So let's say 4 can cut here. We'll have 2. And 4 can cut here. We'll have 5. So 4 can cut here. We'll be left with 2. Okay, let's see. Okay, before then, let's just put our number first. We can always wait. We're still going to cut it. So we'll be left with 2 here, and we'll be left with what? 5 here. Great. So let's cut now. You can say 4 here, we'll be left with 2. 4 here, we'll be left with 5. Awesome. You can multiply it or cut it. Depends on what will be okay for you. So now with this, we can now say we are left with 13. Okay, let's begin with this first. This is just a template. Awesome. So we are left with 13 and 2 up here, 5 and 1 down here. So if we say 13 times 2, it's going to give us what? 26. Great. And we say 5 times 1 here is going to give us what? 5. Awesome. So you can see we are simplifying to the last stage gradually. Now, after what we have here, the next one is the last operation that we have here is subtraction. There's no addition, but the last one is subtraction. And I said earlier in this video that whenever you have addition and subtraction in a fraction, you need to look for the LCM. So let's quickly look for the LCM of what we have here. Let's get this as a template. Great. So awesome. So LCM of 3 and 5 will give us what? 15. 15. We have a video on LCM, that's lowest common multiple, on this channel as well. You can check it out and brush up on it. For those of us that have forgotten 1 or 2 steps on LCM. So LCM of 3 and 5 will give us 15. Awesome. So how many times will 3 go in 15? That's 5 times. 5 times 1 will give us what? 5. Since we are dealing with subtraction, minus so how many times will 5 go in 15? That's 3 times. 3 times 26 will give us 78. Give us 78. Awesome. We're almost getting there. So 5 minus 78 is just like, this is a small number subtracting a big number, so our answer will be negative. So 5 minus 17 will give us minus 73. Minus 73. So this is, you can still leave your answer, okay, this way. Put our negative sign here and remove it here, still the same thing. So you can leave your answer like this or change it to a mixed fraction. It is still the same. You can leave it like this. That's how we come about our minus 73 over 15. You can leave it like this or change it to a mixed fraction. Okay, let's change it to a mixed fraction. How many times will 15 go in 73? It will go just 4 times. It will go how many times? 4 times. Because if you say 15 times 4, it's going to give you 60. So it will go how many times? 4 times. So 73 minus 60 will give you 13. So we'll be left with 13. So let's make use of what we have here. So we'll be left with 13. So we now have minus 4 whole number 13 over 15. So that's how we come about the answer we have here. Minus 73 over 15 minus 4 whole number 13 over 15. So we have it down here. Minus 73 over 15 minus 4 whole number 13 over 15. You can always pause, rewind this video for better clarification and understanding. Don't forget to subscribe to this YouTube channel. You can drop a comment for us if you have any complaint or question. We are ready to answer every of your questions. And don't forget to press the notification bell so that you can always get notification from us whenever we post a new video. Thank you.